Only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We got a video going over some Grey Knight lists, tournament setting, kind of ideas on behind it. This was an idea posted from one of the Patreons. Just do a video based off of the list that we're thinking about running, kind of what we could put on the table. Had some tests with some of these lists, but just to give you some insight, we did get ranked #1 Grey Knight player in the world in 2022. We are currently ranked #1 player in the world for Chaos Space Marines. We got 2 more big majors coming up for Nova and Las Vegas Open to hopefully keep that #1 spot. So with the Grey Knight, still my favorite army. Still love playing them. Waiting for the Codex to come out. Once the Codex come out, we are going to be switching and doing a ton of videos on that. So if you guys haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, notification, do all the YouTube shit, and then Discord. There's a ton of awesome people over on Discord. We have coaching on Discord, coaching on patreon.com. If you guys are interested in getting in coaching, having that coach in your corner, myself included, you guys get to go over to patreon.com, sign up for that, and we guys get to go over questions, list ideas, tactics, anything you guys need for a specific army that you guys play. This army might be Grey Knights for you guys, but also what's coming up on is 10,000 subscribers. So we're about almost 60 away from making this video from 10,000 subscribers. Thanks to all you guys hitting that subscribe button. But there's a lot coming up in 2024, the end of 2024, early 2025. We just keep growing with the channel, keep growing with competitiveness. We get more coaches daily, and we're traveling a lot more. We just went to LSO, Lone Star Open in Texas. That was the first time me and Mike flew out there. We met a bunch of dirtbags, which was really, really cool. Got to meet a bunch of people that we never met before. We got to hang out with them, go out to dinner, just chill with the dirtbags. It was really, really cool. We want to expand that more into more majors by getting you guys to kind of sign up and get more Patreons on the channel, so that way we can go to more events like this. But we did win Lone Star Open, by the way. That was really, really cool. First major we actually won for the dirtbags. We have merch, new merch. So if you guys, I did post a Vect video for the new rules for Vect, so that's on patreon.com. All these videos come out first on patreon.com before they hit YouTube. But this is the merch. We have the new poker chips you guys can be using for objectives, sticky objectives, anything you want to put on the board, ritual, really good for that. So we got the poker chips. We do have Cypher and Calidus, the best Vect models in the game, and Codias, the old school Codias. We are selling Codias as well. So if you guys are still trying to run Codias, we got the old school Codias because the new one sucks. Dice, widgets, used every single game, and all the stickers you guys can ask for. Head over to Discord, message me directly, and get some of the merch. So let's get into the list. I'm going to be doing, I believe, 3 lists for you guys. Again, these are just no particular order. It's kind of just different types of lists. And then we're going to do an all-comers list on the Patreon specific. So if you guys are Patreon, you get to head over there and look at an all-comers Grey Knight list. So I'm going to be doing this for the different factions I play. So these videos are going to be coming up, really soon. But head over to Patreon so you guys can see them first. Alright, so if you guys haven't played Canis Rex is really, really good. I played against him recently, almost lost the game. But Canis Rex in the Grey Knights is just another way to show off how good he is, because you have all the Grey Knights hopping around the table and just kind of doing the secondaries and being super annoying, and then you have Canis Rex who just insanely kills whatever the hell he touches or gets near, and he's really tanky as well. So with this one, we built a Canis Rex list that if you guys have them and want to test them out, this is one way that you can put them on the table. But we have, starting off at the top, Tech Marine, I think, are still good for Grey Knights. Having your Dread Knights hit on 2s like Canis Rex does is super helpful. Anytime I make a list, I really want to have one of my Grandmasters, whether it be walking or a Grandmaster Dread Knight, have the sigil. That way it can be super protective from shots coming into it. But with this one, we actually brought a Dread Knight with sigil, Grandmaster Dread Knight with sigil, because now you can basically hop all over the board. The Grandmaster Dread Knights are super slow. They're only speed 8, and they can't advance and charge. They can't advance and shoot. They can't do any of the fun stuff the regular Dread Knights do. So if you do have Grandmaster Dread Knight putting sigil on him, if they do shoot him, you can basically teleport him closer towards the enemy behind cover, 4, so that way next turn he can move up 8, shoot, and then charge something that he really wants to kill. So that 240 points, pretty hefty now, especially raising his points so much. Drago is in every list I make, no matter what. Drago does so well in every game, especially being able to teleport assault now turn 1, and it doesn't have to be coming in from deep strike. So that little change with the last fact that they did, Drago can then start on the board, turn 1, get picked up if you go second, and then come down and get a 6-inch charge into your opponent's backfield on an objective, killing something you really need to kill, or a demon unit like a Forge Fiend or something like that. So I'm going to be going over, obviously, all these in every single list, but I'm going to give you a little tidbit on why I put them in the list specifically. So then we got the battle line. 5 Terminators of Drago I think is enough. If you bring 10 of them, it's cool. It's super expensive, and they don't have a defensive ability besides Mist. At least if you have 10 Terminators or 10,000 with the Grandmaster, with Sigil, they have a more flexibility and survival, because if they do get shot, you can then put them somewhere else to be super annoying. So I think 5 is good with Drago. Smaller footprint to get into more sections of the board as well. We have 3 strike squads, all being able to scout, putting 1 on your home field objective, make it sticky turn 1, and then scouting up the other 2 to be more aggressive is definitely key. And again, with this one, with so fewer models in this list because of Canis Rex, you want more units. So we have 3 strike units. Again, all battle line. There's a lot of battle line lists in Pariah. This is what we're making the list for, is Pariah Nexus. So 4 battle line units in this list. We have 2 more Dread Knights, regular Dread Knights. They all, again, I don't have the weapons specifically, but they're all just the same. It's Psy Cannon, Flamer, and Hammer. Those are usually all the same weapons. Then we have the Called Assassin. Again, if you can bring a Called Assassin, bring a Called Assassin. Not only does she have her own built-in teleport assault, but she now has one of the best Vex in the game, being able to come up and come down within 12 of the unit that you don't want to use that stratagem, whether it be Heroic Intervention, Interrupt, Overwatch, just so Fight on Death, like so many Vex. Go watch my video. So many Vex you can interrupt with the Called Assassin, and it's just so good to have in your list. Then obviously we got the big boy Canis Rex, 435 points, critting on 5s in shooting and melee, hitting on 2s. So if somebody that hits on 2s automatically built in, just self-sustaining, that's why he's going to be so good in the Grey Knight list, because if I can buff up either my Grandmaster or another Dread Knight to hit on 2s because of the Tech Priest, and use everybody else kind of as supporting things, doing secondaries, and support Canis Rex, that's going to be the goal of this list. Canis Rex is the huge firepower, big target. Everybody else can be hard to track down because they're smaller units, and then you still have 3 Dread Knights kind of line up on a target and just nuke that target off the table. So then we have 50 extra points, and in Grey Knights you can't really bring a ton for 50 points, so we did bring Inquisitor Henchmen. Now why they're so good is because they're 2 wounds. I believe they have a 4-up save, but basically 4 models with 2 wounds on a backfield objective. I usually put them in reserves turn 1. That way if turn 2 you need to get out of your backfield and they don't have a ton of reserves, you can just walk them into your backfield, or you can walk them in on a side table edge to do another action if they don't have a lot of deep strike or reserves on their side. So if you don't have to block out your backfield, they basically just walk in the table edge anywhere and they can do actions. So really good for 50 points. But guys, that is the first list. If you guys want to test that out, I'm putting together a Canis Rex once it comes in. I ordered it, so once that gets to me, I'm going to be putting this on the table. But yeah, this is my mindset of how I would be running Canis Rex. Couple of different options. You could take away the Inquisitor Henchman and maybe 1 strike squad. It gives you 170 points to add. Not a lot. Like Grey Knights are kind of bare bone points. Like there's not a ton. I mean, you can add Stern for 90. It gives you 80 points. You can add Codiez, so you can add 2 more characters. So Stern and Codiez could be in your list. You can add Codiez to Inquisitor Henchman. I usually put him solo because his ability works off the table, so he usually doesn't walk into the table until turn 3 anyway. But yeah, so that's the list. Let's go into the list number 2. We got the Dread Knights list. I think Dread Knights are still really, really good, even the points increase. So with this, we are bringing Brother Captain Stern. Like I said, super good. Comes back up on a 2+ at the end of the phase. So it's really hard to track him down. Usually when you see a solo Terminator with a 2-up, 4-up, toughness 5, I think he's like 5 or 6 wounds, he gets back up on a 2+. They don't usually focus him down. So he's a single base that he can get into different corners. If somebody like planned out to have a 5-man Terminator, 6-man Terminator come down, that footprint is way bigger than one Terminator base. So sometimes you can squeak him in if the player doesn't measure out correctly, but you squeak him in the backfield and boom, now he's there for the rest of the game if needed. But he has teleport assault, so he can come up and come back down if needs to be somewhere else. Super good, really good for secondaries, even in Pariah Nexus. Like, this guy is really good. So then we have the Tech Marine. Again, still really good to buff up one of the Tech Marines. I used to have 3 of these guys, but with the points increase, guys, it's just too many points. These guys increased by 10 points, so they go from 60 to 70. I had 3 of them, so that increased the list by 30, and then the Dread Knights just keep increasing points. So I had to drop these guys down to only 1, but I used to have 3. Grandmaster, again, with the Sigil, just being super aggressive with them. You still don't want them to proc Sigil early, so if you can hide them turn 1 and then peek out or teleport assault them, that would be good. You only want to use Sigil when it's in dire need to use Sigil, and usually if you have it later in the game, you're probably going to be winning that game anyway, because if they don't proc Sigil till later in the game, all of a sudden later in the game they have to kill him, they can't because you still have Sigil. So really good way to keep the Grandmaster alive is just protect him the first turn or so. Drago, again, every single list, 5-man Terminators with Drago. 2 strike squads, 1 in the backfield to make your backfield sticky, the other one to be more aggressive and get into a spot where they can either do a secondary or set up to do a secondary. And then we have Interceptors. So Interceptors are really good still. So they're speed 12, they can advance auto 6, they can advance 1 CP, shoot, and then move 6 more inches. They can come down from teleport assault, shoot, and then move 6 inches onto an objective or in a corner or behind a ruin. Like, they're just so speedy to do secondaries. They're so good. And fuller 10-point difference from a strike to an interceptor. Yes, they don't have sticky objectives, but being able to move, shoot, move, it's like a little Eldar trick that we now have. So really good at just focusing down chaff, focusing down smaller targets, and being able to get on objectives or steal objectives coming out of teleport assault or deep strike. So we got 2 units of them. Then we got the big old 3 Dread Knight kit. So we have 4 Dread Knights in this list. 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry units. We have Drago in the turn. So it's a bunch of different secondary units, plus having 4 Dread Knights on top of that. So we ran this recently against Mike, I believe. There's a video on the channel. But it has a lot of firepower because of the Dread Knights, and it has a lot of mobility and movement because of the Interceptors, strikes, smaller units, and secondary options. Then obviously you got to bring the Kaldis Assassin, and then the Inquisitor Henchman. There are 4 of them, all 2 wounds each. It's just the extra 50 points if you wanted to. So that is the option. Again, this is a really good list. If you like Dread Knights, first we have one with Canis Rex. Now, if you really like Dread Knights, this would be my Dread Knight option for the Grey Knights. I really like this list. I would run this list in a tournament. In a GT, actually, this would be probably my go-to list. All right, and then we got Fixed. We ran Fixed recently against Tau. That was a live game on the stream. So if you guys want to go check that out, I think that's on Patreon. I really like this list. This list is a fixed behind enemy lines and deploy teleport homer or whatever the Pariah Nexus one is. If you go second, it's almost an auto 40. If you go first, you're only losing out on 1 point, I believe, because behind enemy lines is 3 points now. So if you get behind enemy lines with 1 model or 1 unit, it's 3 points. If you get 2 units behind enemy lines, it's 4 points. So we have first to the fray on a Grand Master. I did learn this though. You can bring, somebody else cheaper for this. Like if you wanted to bring a Tech Marine or something like that, there's just not a ton of extra points. My thought process is the Grand Master can come down turn 1 for free. I'm sorry, come within 3 inches for free because of the new free stratagem that they get to do. But you only get 1 free stratagem even though you have 2 Grandmasters. which is really dumb. I don't agree with this at all. It should have been changed when 10 point or 10.5 came out. So dumb. I don't know why Games Workshop does that. But this first to the fray Grandmaster is just let me pull up his stats. So this guy, why Grey Knights are so good at fixed is because you can still come down within 3 inches or right outside 3 inches. So it's really hard to block out turn 1, first to the fray, one model Grandmaster coming down within 3 inches in the opponent's deployment zone and then just doing an action. It's going to be super hard to try and overwatch this guy because he's got a 2-up, 4-up, toughness 5, 7 freaking wounds. Like he's a tanky boy. He's a really hard guy to chew through. And when you tell him the stats, usually people are like, I don't really want to overwatch this guy because it's going to be a waste. And again, you're going to save CP. Like you can spend 1 CP if you really want for him to come down within 3. You can even come down, throw a grenade if you want to try and take some wounds off a target and then do an action. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do with this guy because he's a Grandmaster and you get 1 free strat as a Grandmaster. That means the other Grandmaster throughout the game cannot use his free strat, but still it now puts you 1 CP higher than you were going to have him coming in turn 1. So you're going to come down turn 1 first to the fray, come down within 3 inches, and that is either going to be free or you're going to spend 1 CP, and then you get behind me lines and deploy teleport over. Again, I apologize, I forget the name. Then we got the other Grandmaster with the sigil. He is leading 10 paladins. They ignore all modifiers, still really good, and it's almost unkillable. Like 10 paladins with a Grandmaster, ignoring all modifiers and sigil is super hard to track down, even against Tau. Really hard to kill. So I really love that combo still. Brotherhood Librarian, really good in Pariah because able to do the Vortex of Doom. 1 model I have solo, so he's coming in later. Like he's being super defensive. I usually deep strike him. And he then comes down in a defensive position with just barely line of sight of something that he really wants to take wounds off of. And then you can still do an action. So he's going to come down turn 2 somewhere, do an action, and then little Vortex of Doom to try and finish off either a tank, a unit, or just do something to a target that you really want to start to chew through. Obviously, we have Brother Captain Stern, one of the best secondary units we have in this game. I forget the video. I think it was when he first came out, I started running him almost in every list because when I saw that he got back up on 2+, and this was me running demons, the one demon guy that got Shellax or whatever the name is, but the demon got back up on a 2+, and I was running that for a while, and it just did so well. When I read the Grey Knight Codex or datasheet again, I was like, we have a guy that gets back up on a 2+. He now is in every freaking list. Just so good for secondary points, and nobody wants to kill him because they just ignore him. So yeah, that we got that, and then obviously we got Draco. So Draco's in every single list if you guys couldn't tell already, but we have 2, 3, 4, 5 characters in this list. And then we have the 5-man Terminators for Draco. We have 2 strike squads. We have a Rhino because having a vehicle in the list doesn't let people get rid of Bring It Down for free. So that little Rhino helps out because the Rhino actually really, I have to make a Rhino video. Rhinos actually do a lot of secondaries for Pariah Nexus. Usually people don't focus them down because there's just so many other targets to choose through. So you want to be super cautious with this Rhino. You want the Rhino to be alive until they get Bring It Down. After they get Bring It Down, you can be way more aggressive with the Rhino and getting in different quarters. You can kind of move up and do actions because they're usually not going to focus on a Rhino if they're doing like the one where action where you have to do an action in the middle zone or the deployment zone or on a terrain feature. Rhinos are really good, but it also combos well with our 2 interceptors we have in the Rhino. So Rhino gets up, moves up 12, they can then get out 3, you can then shoot, and then after the shooting phase you can get back into the Rhino. You can basically get these guys out of the Rhino 15 because they're speed 12. Rhino can then move up to a better location. They can then shoot and then get back into the Rhino, I believe 9 inches away. So they move 6. The whole squad has to be within, I believe, within 3 to then get back into the Rhino. So basically, you hop these guys out one way, right? The Rhino then kind of goes around a corner, like moves up, advances. As long as the Rhino ends within 9 inches of every model in that unit that got out, they can then shoot, move back 6 inches, be within 3, and then get into the Rhino. So it's kind of like shit ton of movement from these guys, but again, really good. Or you could just keep in the Rhino and shoot the 2 side cannons up top, but usually you want to hop out, get some bolter shots, and then hop back in. Really good. Paladin squad, 10 men, 450 points, all the side cannons in the world. So ignoring modifiers, really good. Super hard to kill, -1 to wound, 10 bodies. They're all 2 OBSEC with the banner. Really, really good unit, guys. So Paladin squad with the Grandmaster, super tanky, hard to kill. Then we have the Cald Assassin, because she should be in every single list. And then finally, we finish up with Codiez. So Codiez is in this list because with Fixed, you're losing out the option to get rid of a secondary to do a CP, to gain a CP. And with Grey Knights, we use a lot of CP. We're doing Mist, we're doing coming down within 3 inches. We might have to advance one time in the game. We're throwing grenades. Like, we're doing a lot of CP. So our mindset with this list is you're just focused on those 2 secondaries. Everybody else is just stealing primary and trying to kill their secondary units. Like, that's the goal of this list. And then the Inquisitor Codiez, he's going to basically be off the table safe because his ability works off the table. If they get a CP from an ability like Eldar, who else has something? Orcs, Necrons, they just automatically get a CP, or if they have to do something to get a CP on a 2+, you also get a CP, so you kind of keep that even. Abaddon, you don't really see him that often, but stuff like that is just there. Plus he's there just to kind of walk on the table, do an action. He actually does have a Demon Hammer, which hits pretty freaking hard, and a Psychic Blast. I think it's it's basically 2 damage, mortal dev wounds, anti-infantry 4+, something like that. It just hits pretty hard. So that is our fixed list, guys. I really like this list. There's nothing really I would change about this list. It has everything you need for Pariah Nexus. If you really want to run fixed, don't have to think about secondaries or worry about what you choose. Play this list and just keep practicing with this list. So that'll be it for this. We are going to go over one more list on the Patreon channel. So if you guys aren't Patrons, head to Patreons, go support the channel. And also if you guys want coaching, we do offer competitive coaching for competitive Dirtbags and Grandmaster Dirtbags. Grandmaster Dirtbags, you get a little bit more above one-on-one coaching. I get to go over pictures that you guys take for battle reports. We do a call once a month if you guys need to go over any RTT or GT prep, as well as any videos you want suggested, like this video was suggested from a Grandmaster. We do videos on it because you guys are supporting us the most. And if you guys are competitive, just good to have a coach in your corner to ask questions, bounce ideas off of every single day. Whatever you guys need, that's what the coaching is for. So I appreciate it, guys. If you guys want to see the all-comers list for Grey Knights, head over to Patreon. Good luck with everything, and we'll see you in another video soon. What's up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. If you guys are thinking about joining the Patreon page, we're going to go over each tier and how it's going to benefit you and what you're looking for specifically to get out of 40k in 10th edition coming up. There's a lot of stuff to go over. There's a lot of tactical videos up on the channel, which is for free. There's going to be a bunch of perks that you get specifically for being a part of the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. So first off, we have the first tier, which is $1 a month. You guys get first access to the videos over at patreon.com. You also get access to the Discord, which is specifically a private link in the Discord that only Patreon members can see. So you guys will have first access to that. Also a benefit is Patreons over the Dirtbag Nation get live streamed games on patreon.com streamed from YouTube, but there's only links specifically for the patreons.com. So not only do you get first access to these videos, you also get to see live stream games specifically only on patreon.com. The next tier is the Justicar. You guys get a shout out on every single video on YouTube. You also get to support us a little bit more. You get first dibs at voting on Discord, as well as you just kind of say, hey, I just want to be a Justicar Dirtbag and support you guys a little bit more than that $1 a month tier. But you get all the same access as well as the different color over on the Discord. So the third tier is the competitive dirtbag. This tier, you get a lot more one-on-one coaching. This is a lot of the dirtbags over on the Dirtbag Nation. They are able to send out messages one-on-one, go over list ideas, tactics, anything you guys want to talk about. When I was getting into 40k, or really any game in general, I always wanted to message the top players in the meta and just ask them questions. This $10 a month tier gets you that opportunity to message us one-on-one on Discord, so that way we can actually coach you, give you our insights, suggestions, and that's going to get you better at the 40k 10th edition as a whole. So that tier alone, just $10 a month to have one-on-one coaching, one-on-one messages anytime throughout the month, that's going to be a perfect tier for you guys. Even if you're brand new to the game, we go over 1,000-point list, 1,500-point list, 2,000-point brand new starting list, team list, anything you guys need. That's what the competitive dirtbag tier is for. Also, you get a little bit red number name tag on Discord, so people know that you're really serious about getting into the competitive scene. The Grandmaster Dirtbags. This is the all-in-all $25 a month tier. You get one-on-one coaching, everything we said prior to this, but you guys get to see me, Mike, any of the other dirtbags play your specific list that you want to see tested out live on one of our battle reports. You guys get to mention, suggest videos you guys want to see coming up on patreon.com. So you guys get the above first tier benefit of everything that we do over at Dirtbag Nation. All the support mainly comes from you guys supporting us over here at Dirtbag Nation. And Grandmasters, I can't thank you enough, but for $25 a month, you get one-on-one coaching and anything you want to see live on the tabletop. So you get to see a professional play right in front of you. You guys get to kind of like see it one-on-one, and I'm actually making this specifically for you. There's also TTS events that you guys can suggest. If you guys want to do a first 1 or 2 turn run through on TTS, we can actually log in and coach you one-on-one with that. If you guys see us at any GTs, you guys get special benefits, free dice, stuff like that. Anytime you purchase a merch thing on Discord, you guys get a free limited edition Dirtbag dice sent to you with every single purchase on top of that. So there's a lot of benefits coming up with the Grandmaster Dirtbag. You guys, I can't thank you enough for supporting us. Definitely let me know which tier would be best for you if you go over to patreon.com and specifically go to a tier. And make sure you don't forget to message me up on Discord. That's where we check every single day. If you guys are really into getting into 10th edition 40k, head over to Patreon, join the competitive dirtbag or the Grandmaster. Message me as many times as you possibly want, and I'll coach you the best I possibly can on any specific army that you guys play. Mainly our armies right now, currently, going into 2024, is going to be Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, Death Guard, and then we have Custodes, Sisters, and I think that's it going into the wings of 2024. But again, any other army that you guys play, we have other coaches lined up for the Dirtbags that are ready to take on that role of the competitive Dirtbag page. So guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining the Dirtbag Nation if you guys are already part of us. And we'll see you in another video soon.